I drove a Cadillac. Well, Elvis, he had it all. They say he was the king, but look how happy he was when he split the scene.
Are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose? Your daily dose of radio rehab.
I can't speak for them. I have to be ready.
Well, yes,
To deal with you?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, folks, welcome. Nothing truer than that. Welcome into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into this edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. He's Jimmie Bryant, Ph.D. That means he produces, he hosts, and he directs.
And I clearly am feeling a little playful.
Yes, you are. I hope you get weller sooner.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, no, if you were ill, if you were in the hospital, I'm glad you're not, but if you were ill or if you were in the hospital recovering from surgery or you were being treated for some illness, and somebody brought in a book to your room titled Get Weller Sooner. You'd probably, and especially when it said 12 powerful proven ways to speed and improve your recovery.
I would perk up.
You would perk up. And, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could accelerate healing, the healing and recovery process, if we could experience less pain, fewer complications in recovery from illness or from surgery, if we could, no matter what's going on, if we could improve our prospects for healing from any kind of serious illness, and if your body were to respond better to the meds, to the medications that you're receiving with minimal side effects, wouldn't all that be wonderful? Yeah,
I mean, you've got my full attention now.
Well, good, because our life strategist says he can help us do all of that. He's gonna present to us some powerful, proven ways to speed and improve recovery from either illness or surgery. He is Stan Munslow, and his book is Get Weller Sooner, and we want to do that. We'll
definitely.
We'll get Mr. Munslow in here. Folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living, presented by Azalea Cleaners. We're also brought to you by the Robinson Film Center. We're brought to you by Pintail Roofing, by Learning Rx, by Cannabis with Love Hempress, 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport, and we're brought to you by the Shreveport Little Theater. Back in a moment, we're going to meet the author of Get Weller Sooner, and he's our life strategist today. His name is Stan Munslow. All that this evening here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us.
I'm supposed to get a raise next week, you know damn well I won't. Working for a living.
Chronic pain, anxiety, problem sleeping? Think you've tried it all? Wait. If you haven't tried CBD oil from Cannabis with Love, well, you haven't. All CBD oil is not created equal. Cannabis with Love is all about helping people get better. 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport. CannabisWithLove.com. Our oil is THC-free, organically grown in Colorado, and cold-pressed, no chemicals, no GMOs. Now, we hear it all the time. This stuff is amazing. No, it's CBD oil from Cannabis with Love, the first store in Shreveport Bossier to introduce CBD oil. We're all about helping people get their lives back. CBD oil can change your life. You'll find oils, edibles, and more, all with CBD added. People tell us this oil makes a difference for pain, for sleep, for seizures, for anxiety, for cancer treatment, Alzheimer's, and much more. Cannabis with Love, 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport, CannabisWithLove.com.
The following program is paid for by David McMillian. We're in studio with Pioneer Comfort Systems owner Michael Smith, our Keel industry ace. Michael, tell me about New Flow Pipe and how it's revolutionizing your sewer pipe repair service.
We proudly feature the New Flow patented cured-in-place pipe restoration process. It is a cost-effective and minimally invasive way to rehabilitate the drains and sewer lines inside your home. Call us today to schedule your appointment or to learn more about our New Flow system. Pioneer Comfort Systems. Let us keep you in your comfort zone.
Is your business undergoing economic strain? If so, you're not alone. Get the help you need. Cohab and other community partners have come together to launch Shreve.biz. Shreve.biz is a help desk offering one-on-one counseling for small business owners in Shreveport. Let Shreve.biz help you find solutions to common challenges that many are facing. Shreve.biz can arrange free advisory calls with mentors in banking, accounting, legal, and business. Visit Shreve.biz to get started.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
And we're ready. We're ready to take care of business here on Strategies for Living. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Jimmie Bryant, David McMillian. Let's welcome into the program now Stan Munslow. He is an author, educator, and musician. He lives in Rhode Island with his wife and his high-energy Bichon Maltipoo. Boo! Mr. Munslow, welcome to Strategies.
Welcome.
Well, hi, David, and hello, everybody. Really excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad you're here. So, getting weller sooner. Stan, how did you get started with all of this, Stan?
Well, it was pretty intense. So I'm back in 1998. My dad, who was 74, was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. He was given about a 25% survival prognosis.
Whoa!
Now, I had always had an interest in quantum science and all that kind of stuff. So I started doing a bunch of research. I was trying to find ways, basically, for him to improve his odds.
Yeah.
So I distilled all that down to this little tiny, it was like a little mini blank book full of like tips on beating cancer and all that. Gave him that, and he would read it all the time. I mean, he would flip through it at red lights. His wife would be yelling at him, to do that. And I also made him a cassette with like healing affirmations and a guided visualization, and he worked with all that stuff all the time, even while he was getting his chemo. Now, I know everybody's going to expect me to say that he beat his cancer, and well, he did, in fact, beat it. But that's not even really the amazing part. It was really he sailed his way to beating it. He beat it fast. He beat it easily. He didn't lose his hair. He didn't lose weight.
Wow.
He didn't get nauseous. He just remained fit and active and vital. And to tell you the truth, he was acting more vital than before the cancer. I remember telling my sisters, I said, I hate to say this, but I really think that cancer was the best thing that ever happened to Dad. I mean, he really tried.
Yeah.
And so I was so bolstered by that I just started offering this stuff to family and friends who were having illnesses and surgeries, and the successes really started to rack up. I mean, to be honest, I was really batting 1,000. But what happened was the book came about because in 2014, my wife's sister, Chris, was diagnosed with stage 4+ ovarian cancer. And it was so bad that her oncologist said, Chris, if you hadn't come in today, you'd be gone in 3 weeks.
Oh, Lord.
And at best, even with chemo, he could only promise her 3 months. He said, maybe I'll get you 3 months, maybe 6, but that's what we're looking at here. And so I went nuts because I'd only known her for a few years, and I'm like, I want to know her longer, you know. So I just started doing a ton more research and really, really beefing everything up, making it as effective as I could. I literally wrote the book for her. I had a copy printed and gave it to her before I even published it. I said, this is your book. So I said, use it. So she said, okay. And you know what? After 6 months, after a year, and then 2 years goes by, 4 years, 8 years of basically bonus life. When we lost her last year because of C. diff, but she had those 8 years.
Wow!
And I'll tell you, she really lived them. You know, she didn't really act stiff. She was tired sometime, you know, and all that.
Yeah, sure.
But she really lived her life, and during those 8 years, she got to see her first 3 grandkids be born. That was really amazing.
That's incredible, Stan. That is absolutely incredible.
And what touched me the most was I found out afterwards that her family had actually put a copy of my book in her casket because she always told people that my oncologist and my brother-in-law saved my life.
Wow.
So that's how the book really came about, and I've been, you know, using it since then and everything, and it's doing great.
All right, I'm hearing people out there shout right now. What's the name of the book, and how do I get it? Okay, so the name of the book is Get Weller Sooner, and you can get it where we all get all of our books these days, Amazon.com.
Yeah, it is on Amazon. It's in paperback, it's in ebook, and it's in audiobook because, you know, some patients just aren't in a position to read.
Right.
So they can always listen to it. Yeah.
So however you need it, it's available to you, Amazon.com. And the author is our life strategist today, Stan Munslow. Get Weller Sooner. So, you know, are we saying we're going to talk ourselves out of being sick? Is that what can that happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't even say the word absolutely emphatically enough, but our bodies are made by our thinking. And, you know, I mean that literally. Here's how that kind of works. The cells in our body are made out of atoms. And 107 years ago, Einstein proved that atoms are made out of nothing but energy, just vibrating energy. That's all anything is. Right. Well, years after that, though, quantum physicists got in on the act, and they did this thing called the famous double-slit experiment.
Yep.
And through that, they proved that, okay, if atoms are made of energy, what exactly is energy made out of? And you have to really open up your mind for this, but energy is made out of intelligence, awareness, and thought.
Like like consciousness, like consciousness, awareness.
Yes, exactly. You know, the great physicist Sir James Jeans used to say, you got to stop thinking of the universe as like this great machine, and really see it as a great thought. Some other publication I read, they said physicists are being forced to admit that the universe is mental construction, and so what happens then is that your thinking doesn't just affect your body, and it doesn't just control your body. It really creates it. It's just that under your conscious and positive control, you can do a much better job of it. You know,
yeah.
It's like the placebo effect. Right? I give you a sugar pill and convince you that it's a powerful pain medicine, and you get that result from it. Your thinking gave you the result. The pill certainly didn't. It was a Tic Tac.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And but your thought did that. And you know what's even more amazing than that? Dr. Deepak Chopra, in his work called Quantum Healing, says that if a person with multiple personality disorder, okay, let's say they have an allergy to orange juice,
right,
and the next day they wake up in a different personality, they can drink all the orange juice they want. They don't have the allergy.
That other personality doesn't have the allergy. That's amazing.
Because the other personality didn't know that the other personality had the allergy, so therefore they don't.
Wow.
Or if somebody has non-insulin dependent diabetes and they got to take a drug to maintain their blood sugar levels, and then they wake up in another personality, and now they don't need to take the drug because guess what? Their pancreas is malfunctioning normally. You know, and it's like, wow, like that's just like so huge. You can't even like really wrap your brain around it. But tell you the truth, I mean, I'm living proof of it. I didn't see a doctor from age 17 to 42. I only started going because my family kind of hassled me too.
Yeah.
And But I do not get sick as in ever. I had one lackluster bout of flu in 2005 that lasted about a day and a half, and that is it. No
Wow.
hospitalizations, surgeries, aches, pains, conditions, treatments, nothing. And people will say, man, you've been really lucky. And I'm like, lucky? For 64 years straight? Seriously? And then they'll say, like,
maybe.
well, you got good genes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, actually I don't, because my parents and 4 siblings have had more than their share of medical disadventures.
Yeah. Or maybe you've got some very powerful proven ways and methods here.
Mr.
Yeah,
Munslow.
I mean, what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I never expect to get sick. That's one thing. And I just see my body as perfect. I just do.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started doing that, but once I realized that it was working, well, then I'm going to keep that going. Because I used to study success, and all the great people would say that they don't look at things the way they are. They look at things the way they want them to be. And so I'm here to tell everybody, whether you're sick or recovering or just plain healthy, that if you think about the body you want, the healed, healthy, strong, vital body, you focus there. It's not that you deny an illness, let's say. You just don't focus there.
Yeah.
You think about where you want to be and you stay there. Then that makes it far more likely that you're going to get there. And, of course, you're still doing all your standard professional care. This is just a supplement. It's not to replace anything.
Absolutely.
It's just an adjunct.
Absolutely. Stan Munslow is our life strategist today. The name of the book is Get Weller Sooner.
I got to say this. In the 2+ years we've been on this show, I've never done this. I just bought his book.
There you go.
It's on the
okay,
way.
there you go. There you go.
So much.
Hey, folks, Stan Munslow is our life strategist. I hope you'll go buy his book. Like Jimmie, it's on Amazon.com. Get Weller Sooner. Let's talk for a second about the Robinson Film Center, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. There is absolutely no place like the Robinson Film Center. Of course, all of the great things about the Robinson. It's a Shreveport treasure,
isn't it?
It really is. I mean, everything from there's more film camps to go. I think there's a film camp coming up in July. You can find out all about it at the RobinsonFilmCenter.org. RobinsonFilmCenter.org. Of course, there's Abby Singer's Bistro, full service bistro and bar, second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday. You can go anytime to RobinsonFilmCenter.org, find out what is going on right now, what's playing.
Big double feature coming up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moonrise Kingdom and Asteroid City.
Ooh.
Wes Anderson double features.
There you go.
Ought to be pretty good.
You may be there too. Who knows?
You might find me.
Hey, folks, join the crowd, join the fun. Become a member, get discounts on movies, get concession upgrades, get bistro deals. RFC 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Arcotech's foot and ankle specialists want to be your first choice when it comes to taking care of all of your foot and ankle issues, small or large. Google reviews tell their story best. Connie M says, I had surgery in their surgery center and it was the easiest surgery I've ever had, and with minimal pain after. Call doctors Greg Bryant, Blair Drummond, and Will Andrus at Arcotech's foot and ankle specialists at 687-8447 to schedule your appointment at one of their 3 locations today. That's 687-8447.
We're talking with Todd Roten from Dixie Floors, our Keel industry ace. Todd, you guys installed that luxury vinyl plank in my home. How hard is that to maintain?
It's as simple as a Swiffer to maintain them as needed. They have a great wear layer to protect the surface, and our most popular style, which is Eagle Creek, has a pad attached, and this helps with the warmth of the floor and also dampens the noise associated with walking on most hard surfaces.
Find out more about Dixie Floors, our Keel industry ace, at DixieFloors.net. That's DixieFloors.net.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast. fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PLAY for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PLAY. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PLAY for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PLAY.
And welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for a Living. Jimmie, Bryant, David McMillian. Our life strategist today is the author of Get Weller Sooner, 12 Powerful Proven Ways to Speed and Improve Recovery from Illness or Surgery. He is Stan Munslow. Stan, I know you get asked. You're bound to be asked. Okay, so you're not a medical doctor. You don't have medical training. How did you come to consider writing a medical book?
Well, first of all, I wrote it because, like I said, I had to, for the people in my life. But I would tell people that, first of all, I'm not presuming to be a doctor. I'm not making any diagnoses or treatments. What I am is I'm a researcher who simply compiled and basically turbocharged information that was set forth by top scientists and doctors, but in a way that could be, the most help. That's one thing I would say. And the other is that, well, my track record of success in accelerating and improving the healing of people I know, whatever, even those battling advanced cancers, speaks for itself. So, but I'm not offering any actual treatment. Really, what I am is a reporter. Telling people what doctors are saying as supplemental things to do.
Yeah. There's your sister-in-law. There's your dad. I know you've had lots more successes through the years. Do you have, what do you consider the greatest success so far?
Well, I would say it would be Chris, but running a close second would be that 2 years ago, actually, my sister's husband, Dwayne, was diagnosed with advanced esophageal cancer. And I don't remember the numbers, but it was bad. I mean, It was not looking good at all. And so I gave him the book, and I said, here, Dwayne, do all this stuff. And I said, the other thing we're going to do for you, man, is we're going to set you up the world's greatest prayer group, because there are over 1,200 published studies in medical journals attesting to and outright proving the power of prayer. Now, whether somebody wants to think of that religiously or just spiritually or even just through quantum connectedness, but prayer has been proven to work. So, and I used it with everybody. But what I did with Dwayne was, I said, first of all, I'm going to contact everybody you know and get them on board. I said to everybody, you're going to set 2 alarms on your phone, one at 7 a.m., one at 9 p.m. We're going to pray for Dwayne together. All right, if you can't do it at that time, okay, do it whenever. But let's try to coalesce as many of our positive energies in one shot and just send them right into his body. All right, we're going to do this twice a day. And I compiled some prayers that I found and then could have tweaked and modified and expanded and offered those to people, or they could use their own, whatever. And then the other thing I did, which I'd also done with Chris too, is I built Dwayne a Facebook page called Healing Energy for Dwayne. And it was kind of a place for people to share prayers or resources and encouragements for Dwayne, and also to get some more people on board. So eventually he had 99 people praying daily on his behalf.
Wow.
Okay, so, all right, after 1 6-week round of chemo, the doctors called him and they said, Dwayne, your cancer is gone. I mean, it's just gone. It's not there, And now that was only a couple of years ago. Everybody's fully aware that it might come back.
Sure.
And he's even said that. And I said, you know what, Dwayne, if it comes back, we're going to hit you again with the same stuff. Now, he's going to be 74 this year, and I'm pretty convinced that we're just going to ride this out. as long as it takes. We're just going to keep that prayer stuff going. And he's still, reading the book and all that and strengthening his mind-body stuff or whatever, too. But I would say that was the other biggie.
Yeah, I would say. And there's, Stan, now that you're, the book's out there and it's going, there are probably some successes that you don't know about. And, you'll probably never know about it, and that's fine because that's just, that's an energy thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right. So again, folks, the name of the book is Get Weller Sooner. It's on Amazon, and, there may be some people that are saying, well, my patient is too sick. They've just had surgery or they just don't feel good. They don't have the energy to read an entire book. What are you saying to them?
I'm going to tell them 4 things. First of all, I would suggest that they ask a friend or a loved one to read it to them.
Okay.
That's one thing, which is also just a nice connection anyway. Or I would say to them that they could simply opt for the audio version, which is available on audible.com, which is part of Amazon.
Right.
Or for somebody with an upcoming surgery, I would just suggest that they read it beforehand. And the last thing, I actually just stumbled upon this pretty recently, but for anybody who has an Alexa, an Amazon Echo device, if you own the ebook version of the book, you can just say, Alexa, read Get Weller Sooner from my Kindle library. And it's really pretty realistic. She reads it really well. I mean, she doesn't catch all the nuance.
Right.
But I was just listening to it the other day. I'm like, you know what? That works for me. It all makes sense. It's clear. It's not all kind of like, robotic sounding. It's actually pretty good. So that's what I would say to them because, sometimes you just can't muster the energy to read. I get that. So, but there's some things they can do.
You talk about, Stan, acting as the perfect patient, and you talk about this improves an outcome for a patient. And what you've got a story about that, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah, and it actually pertains to my sister-in-law, Chris. Once again, what happened was she was on chemo for a long time, for years. And my wife would always go with her to her appointments just to be supportive, and be with her.
Right.
And both of those women loved to dress, so they would show up in their nice dresses with their hair and their makeup and everything, and just being really pleasant to everybody because that's who they are.
Right.
And even though Chris was sick, she was still that way. So everybody from the parking attendant to the janitor to the receptionist to the nurses, they would just sweet and appreciative to everybody. They really were. But the thing is, you look around the room, and that was not the case. You would see people who looked like they had cancer. Now, Chris certainly had it just as bad as anybody else there. But everybody else would be like in their pajamas or in their sweatsuits, just looking dour and down and negative and, forlorn and sometimes even just kind of hostile. And everybody would say, well, you know what? They have a right to be that way. And I would say they absolutely do. But here's the thing, though. What good does that do them? What good does pumping your body with negativity and moroseness and negative expectations do for anybody's condition? It just doesn't work. And Chris kind of embodied the other side. And I'll add one extra little piece to this because it was just so cute. One of the things they did every week is they would show up at chemo with 2 china teacups and some gourmet tea. And they would sit there and have their tea while she was getting her chemo.
Oh, that is fabulous.
I love it. I love it.
One day a nurse comes in with a basket, and she goes, hey, Chris, I just wanted to show you these. It's a basket of socks that were knitted by volunteers. You can pick out a pair, and you can wear them here, wear them at home, whatever. And Chris goes, oh, that's so wonderful. She goes, I love to knit. I would love to knit some of these socks for the patients. And the nurse is looking at her like, Chris, you are the patient. And Chris goes, I'm not sick.
That's
I'm just here to
awesome.
get medicine that I need. But I'm not sick, and I can certainly knit. And she did. And so she was adding her own socks to that basket. She just didn't acknowledge the illness to anybody there. And she just behaved. I mean, basically, she behaved as a healthy person.
Wow.
And again, her body listened to that. And I'm pretty convinced that that's where she got her 8 years.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 months. And even her oncologist said, he goes, Chris, the chemo got you some time, but all the stuff that you're doing, that's where the rest of it came from. So he was even taking copies of the book, and they asked if I would just donate them to other, he gave 50 copies of the book, to other ovarian cancer patients and everything. So, yeah, so he was on board with it. Totally.
Maybe somebody listening to us will buy a pile of books for the. I think we have a handful of cancer treatment centers in
it's
our
so
area.
Funny you say that because I had the same. If there were a book to buy a pile of, this is it.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And, seriously,
wouldn't that be wonderful to buy a pile and take one to Christus, take one to LSU Health Science Center, take one to Willis Knighton Cancer Treatment Center. I hope I'm not missing any. I don't think I am. But anyway, any cancer treatment that's going on out there, wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody out there listening to us would buy a pile of these books and distribute them in the centers? Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay, there's a lot that's written on the mind-body connection. You touched on the mind-body earlier.
You did, yeah.
But you talk about the true power of the mind-body connection. Pretty fascinating stuff. So dive a little deeper into this, Stan, before we got about 3-4 minutes before we go to break. So dive a little deeper into this.
Yeah, the mind-body connection is the chief tenet of the book. I mean, it certainly covers a lot of other things, prayer and humor and
music and
all that
yeah,
stuff too, which I can expound upon later on. I'm actually a musician, so yeah, I know that stuff. And but anyway, the big thing with the mind-body connection, it's all about expectation. Even Sam Walton of Walmart fame used to say that expectation is everything. And I'm totally on board with that in regards to this because, I mean, expectations they kind of get a bad rap. A lot of times people say, oh, don't get your hopes up, don't get your expectations up. You'll just be disappointed if it doesn't work. It's like, well, yeah, but you know what? Positivity doesn't cause disappointment. If anything, negative expectations do. But they say they're being realistic. And, well, you know what? If somebody wants to be realistic with matters of which they have no control, like the weather or something, then fine, they can do that. But when it comes, it's a whole different ball game when you're expecting the best of something over which you do have control, your own body. And so with the mind-body connection being as strong as it is because we think our bodies into existence, we create 2 million new cells every second out of the 40 trillion that we have, to every second. And when those cells are created with a mind full of positive expectation, and you know what, just plain positivity in general, they literally do a better job. They, who was it? Dr. McCullough used to say that, positivity and positive expectations can even alter a patient's genes and reduce inflammatory gene expression, which is basically what lies behind most illness. Is inflammation, stuff like that. And positivity, take it for what you think it is, but it just works. And people don't necessarily need to know the science or the physics behind it, but just that it does. And so, expectation drives a lot of that.
Well, and anything that builds our immune system. I remember years ago, I was interviewing a renowned cancer physician, very smart man who had written a book. He and his wife was a clinical social worker, and they had put together this wonderful cancer book. And he was answering a question. He's very smart. And he was answering a question for me. And he said offhand, we all have cancer. And I said, time out. I said, time out for a second, doctor. I think I just misheard you. He said, oh, no. He said, if you define cancer as cancerous cells in the body, he said 100% of the population has cancerous cells in the body. But for most of us, our immune system just takes care of them, just handles them. What we end up diagnosing as cancer is when wherever the cancer is, those cells overrun the immune system's ability to handle it. And so, that was like, wow. So you're saying whatever we do, keep the immune system strong, and everything you've talked about so far, for me, is building the immune system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and the healing abilities of the body too, whether it's before the illness or during it or after it.
Well, yeah, and that's the miracle of our immune system. The miracle of that is installed within us is that immune system that handles just about everything that comes along. You know, wow. Stan Munslow, the author of Get Weller Sooner, is our life strategist. You can get the book or a pile of them to take to the cancer centers at Amazon.com. You can also get it at Audible. Get Weller Sooner, Stan Munslow, our life strategist. Let's talk for a moment about something going on we're working on 102 years now.
That's right.
Shreveport Little Theater, American theater at its best. And, the summer musical is just around the corner. It's not too soon. You need to go ahead and get your tickets right now for Anything Goes. That's the summer musical. It starts July the 21st, runs through the 30th. The summer musical at Shreveport Little Theater always sells out. So get your tickets and check out the 102nd season, Always Patsy Cline, My Way, the music of Sinatra, Winter Wonderettes, 5 Women Wearing the Same Dress, Dial M for Murder, Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville. All of that is in the 23-24 season at Shreveport Little Theater, American theater at its best. 812 Margaret Place in Shreveport, ShreveportLittleTheater.com. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for a Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Jimmie Bryant, David McMillian with our life strategist, Stan Munslow. The book is Get Weller Sooner, and you can find it at Amazon.com. You can get it, of course, for your Kindle. You can get it in audiobook form. Amazon.com is a great place to get it. Get Weller Sooner. Okay, music. We got to get to music. A lot of people have said, listening to music is healthy. You say that it definitely improves medical outcomes across the board. Is there a how-to? Do we know exactly why and how that is, Stan?
Well, first of all, yes. The Chinese character for medicine actually includes the character for music.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
It's
that.
been around for millennia. Hippocrates used to treat his patients with music. Native Americans did it. And then in recent decades, scientists kind of jumped on board and basically proved them right. Now, the physics of it are pretty, I guess you could say, kind of obvious that music is energy. It's vibrational energy. And so are we. We're just vibrating energy. So these energies merge in a positive, sort of cerebral, rhythmic way. And, when I say across the board, I mean, I'm talking about things even like stroke patients, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. My mom had a stroke when she was 85. It was so big that they weren't even giving her water at the hospital because they said she's not going to last another hour. Yeah. Well, she did, in fact, go on for a few more years. And, as soon as she was in rehab, I told the nurse, I said, here's some CDs and a boombox. I want that music on all the time. And it was all, her favorite stuff, which I'll explain in a moment, like what kind of music to use. Within a few months, I mean, she was doing crossword puzzles. They were just like, oh, my God. I mean, it really, really is amazing in a big way. It's profound. But it's not every music that does that. You want to pick what works the best is mainly classical music and New Age, which New Age is basically modern classical. But
right.
What those two styles have going for them, one is that they are soothing and relaxing and calming, and you want that.
Right.
The other thing is that they're not vocal, because if people are going to have music playing, let's say, for hours a day, especially, then singing kind of gets into the way of your thoughts, where it can be intrusive. Certainly people can listen to their favorite songs as long as they are calm. Right. They can save their heavy metal and their rap and punk for when they get home, right? But while they're trying to get better, that's the way to do it. And nowadays, it's just so easy. I mean, you go on YouTube, you can even just search for, let's say, nonstop, relaxing classical music, and there are I call them videos, but there are selections up there that last like 8 hours straight of just classical music or New Age or whatever, or even just music for healing.
Right.
And just go right to it. And if people can sleep with it on, not everybody can, but then fine, put some earbuds on and just sleep. The part I find the most intriguing to me, just because I've seen it in personal, use, is if people are in post-op recovering and they're listening to music, it's been shown that they are not going to need as much pain medicine.
Yeah.
Because their healing is their recovery is just going to be accelerated. Yeah. And the really cool part is that if people actually have the music playing during surgery, they do exceptionally well. And people are like, well, how could that be? I mean, you can't hear when you're asleep. And I'm here to say, oh, yes, you can.
Oh, the unconscious mind can.
It's not your conscious mind, but your unconscious mind. I mean, if I say wake up to you when you're sleeping, you're going to hear me.
Yeah.
Now, of course, people being under anesthesia are being forced to sleep chemically, but their auditory receptors are still on it, and they still take it in. And frankly, it actually, if you can convince the doctors to do this, it helps them too, because it keeps them focused, and it keeps them, sort of calm under pressure, which is going to happen a lot during surgery anyway. Yeah. And so if you can get it, use it. And if they don't allow that, say, well, how about earbuds? I'll just have earbuds on. Or if I can't do that because maybe you're operating on my head, then, okay, I'll at least have it in post-op.
Yeah.
And it really does the job. It's like I say, it's just a positive energy source that's very special. It's very sacred. It's not just any old vibration.
Yeah.
It's one of mankind's greatest accomplishments, one of the greatest benign accomplishments. And it's got a lot going for it.
Yeah.
It invokes positive emotions, and within the listener, and it does it. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
The book uses a process, Stan. You use a process called Learn and Affirm. What is that?
Okay, I've used this in a lot of other applications. Like, for instance, I used to teach public speaking, and I would use it in my books for that, too. What it is that at the end of each chapter, there are 25 very carefully crafted affirmations that initially are to drive the important points of the chapter really deeply into a person's mind and subconscious. But from there, through that mind-body pipeline, it really delivers their healing energy to the part of the body that needs it the most. All right, so that's what it is. But the thing is that it all started because when you read about success and the greats in all fields, man, they swear by affirmation up and down the board. Athletes, great businessmen, everybody from, Dale Carnegie to Michael Jordan, Oprah, Jim Carrey, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even Jennifer Lopez. They all swear by affirmations. And I'm here to say that, you know what? If affirmations are so great in bringing about improvement in matters outside the body, like, generating wealth and things like that, then imagine what they can do to the goings-on inside of your body, where, again, you have all that control. So, after the first thing I gave my dad was some affirmations, and son of a gun, he used them. This guy in his 70s is all gruff and everything, but he was desperate, so he did it. He used them, and they're pretty amazing. And so the book is filled with affirmations. In fact, there's even a chapter specifically about affirmation, and how to really make it work. You gotta listen to them a lot, and you gotta really
because you want them again back to that subconscious. You want them into the subconscious mind. You want the subconscious mind to accept the affirmation as true.
Exactly, and you'd be grateful for them because the universe gives you more of what you're grateful for. I am grateful for the healing that I'm about to experience. That kind of a thing. And it even encourages people to write their own. But even if they don't, there's plenty in there, that they can work with and or modify to their own use. Yeah.
This is absolutely incredible stuff. Now, I need to tell people we haven't even scratched the surface. I mean, we've been at this an hour. Jimmie, can we have 3 more hours, please?
I wish I could give it to you.
Yeah,
I really do.
He's not going to do it, Stan.
I told you what I did, and I suggested to everybody else. Go grab it.
Go grab it. What I want people to know is there's everything in here. Like, we haven't covered laughter. There's a chapter on the power of laughter. There's a chapter on the power of good nutrition. There's a chapter on the power of medicine. There's a chapter on the power of love. And, of course, we've touched on the power of prayer. We've touched on music. We've talked about the perfect patient. There's a lot in here. It's just packed full, almost 300 pages or so. But it's a
brimming.
It's a book that is don't let the 300 pages scare you, because it's
an easy read.
It's an easy read. Yeah. So, Stan, thank you for the book, and
this has been great.
I hope people will go and get a copy for themselves. And again, there's somebody out there that has the resources. There is somebody out there listening right now that has the resources to get a stack of these books to the different cancer centers. And I challenge us all. This would be a wonderful book to provide to each one of the cancer centers. Really would.
That's awesome. And you know what? It would make Chris really happy.
There you go. Absolutely. We will be right back. We're with Stan Munslow. Get Weller Sooner is the book. You can get it in audio form. You can get it for your Kindle. You can get it in printed form. You can get it from Amazon. Get Weller Sooner. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail. and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
You know, information like this from Stan Munslow is the reason we do Strategies for Living. It really is.
This is, I mean,
it's power-packed. And, Stan, I got to thank you for the book. I got to thank you for jumping in, and I hope this will be the first of many times you'll be on Strategies for Living. So thank you.
I'd be more than happy to. Thanks so much for listening in. Yeah.
So, folks, get the book. It's called Get Weller Sooner. Stan Munslow. You can get it on Kindle. You can get it on audiobooks on Audible, and you can get the printed version from Amazon. Get Weller Sooner. And who's gonna get the stack for the cancer centers? Let's go. Let's get that done. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to Strategies for Living, presented by the Robinson Film Center and by Azalea Cleaners, by Pintail Roofing, by Learning RX, by Cannabis with Love, Hempress, 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport, and by the Shreveport Little Theater. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Stan Munslow and for Jimmie Bryant, I'm David McMillian. And we'll see you next time here on Strategies for Living.